Hare Krishna, everyone. Good morning, my dear Prabhus, dear Matajis. Thank you for joining our morning japa session. Again, that is 5:30 to 7 o'clock a.m. You can log in and log out anytime. And you can chant with us. So if you have your minimum rounds, it's very powerful to chant together in the association with devotees. And welcome sa ating Braj Bhakti Academy, Monk in the Middle podcast. We are in the study ng Srimad Bhagavatam. So a deeper study ng ating yoga philosophy. Hare Krishna to those who are here in Zoom and also those watching in our Facebook. So yeah, akalain mo naka 68 or 69 episode na tayo for this Monk in the Middle. Araw-araw kasi. So good morning, Hare Krishna. And you know the drill before we go and sa ating Srimad Bhagavatam study, we should be in the proper mood, the humble mood, in the mood of request. So join me as we recite the invocation mantras. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Sarasvatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashta Prayashu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Utamas Loke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. I offer my obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vasudeva. Before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So that is one importance ng ating Srimad Bhagavatam, the daily study neto, the daily attendance, and also the daily service natin sa Person Bhagavatam. This is one secret ng ating sadhana. Japa and the hearing, Shravanam, Kirtanam. Sa ating 9 processes of devotional service, these two, yung mga important na kailangan natin gawin. Lalong-lalo na this, Kali Yuga. So previously, there were questions ng mga sages na namin sa Ranya. Then, they were asking yung birth, yung death, saka yung destination after ni King Pariksit. If you could remember si Pariksit Maharaj, siya yung personality bakit nagkaroon ng conversation si Sukadev Goswami kasi he will die in 7 days. And also, ito rin yung isang basis sa stories ng Srimad Bhagavatam because before he died, yung 7 days na yon, natitirang 7 days niya, he take advantage of that. He renounced yung mga material things niya and took shelter sa kanyang spiritual master. Kasi may 7 days ka na lang eh. Are you gonna spend that in material things pa ba? Di ba, magkatrabaho ka na lang ba? So, he seek shelter, he asked questions, and he focused his meditation on the Supreme. So, ayun yung ginawa. That is an action of a wise man. And of course, it's a big learning for us kasi we don't know if we will have 7 days. We will have 7 years, 70 years, 7 months, or minsan 7 minutes. So we should always make sure that we're using the time very wisely. And nung pinag-uusapan na nila yung birth ni King Pariksit, they had this ceremony and Brahmanas were there, the priests. Yung priest na yon binigay ng assurance yung mga relatives na this boy, Pariksit, will become this kind of personality. So, nandun tayo sa discussion ng ating Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, Chapter 12, Birth of Emperor Pariksit. Actually, saan ba tayong... Ayan, nasa text number 22. Translation. This is the Brahmanas, the priest, talking to Yudhishthir Maharaj. Actually, lolo niya yun. But Yudhishthir Maharaj is the emperor during that time. And yung descendant nila, nalitira dun sa line nila is si Pariksit Maharaj. This child will be as strong as a lion and as worthy a shelter as the Himalayan mountains. He will be forbearing like the earth and as tolerant as his parents. So, bakit lion? Pag nakita natin yung lion, this is very brave animal. Kaya silang tinatawag na king of the jungle. Diba? Parang you won't see the lion running away kasi meron siyang predator. So, siya palagi yung predator dun sa cycle ng animal kingdom. Lion is very courageous. He is fearless. And he is strong, actually. He is doing his hunting. Kung nakikita nyo, na-observe nyo, madalas mag-isa lang sila. Yeah. Tapos doon niya gagawin yung hunting niya, mag-isa. It was being described here that when the lion is chasing the enemy, yung prey niya is just always in fear. Ganun siya ka-determined, ganun siya ka-strong. Another description na sinabi rito sa scripture is, sa verse natin, is worthy a shelter as the Himalayan mountain. The Himalayan mountain is the highest, biggest, longest na meron dito in this material earth. And it is a shelter for a lot of living entities. There are unlimited caves. Diba? Meron mga tropical-like, tapos meron mga sobrang icy yung mga top niya. Siyempre, of course, yung mga yung Everest part ng Himalayan yun. So, ang dami rin ditong mga rivers where yung purpose nga ng mga mountains, ito yung reservoir of minerals sa mga nutrients. Then the waters from the mountains will go down in the stream, then distributing these minerals and nutrients everywhere in the lowlands. Tapos marami rin siya mga trees and herbs sa mga mountains na yon, where kung saan nakakuha ng mga medicines yung mga tao. A lot of shelter for the animals, and of course yung mga unlimited nga ng mga caves. Doon nakatira yung mga yogis. So kung hardcore yogi ka talaga, hindi mo kailangan ng branded na mga damit para pumunta. Alam mo yung mga manduka mo sa Lululemon mo, tapos pupunta ka lang sa cave sa Himalayan. No, the more simpler, the more austere they are. Nandun sila. And they don't have, yung mga napunta doon, they don't have a taste for material life anymore. Of course, those are the practice in seclusion. Sabi nga ni Krishna kay Arjuna, ba't mo gagawin yan? Diba? Hirap-hirap niyan. You have to sit in a posture that you will have to be undisturbed, controlling the breath, controlling the senses, controlling the mind, which is very very hard. Sabi nga ni Arjuna, it is easier to control the wind than to control the mind. So those who are practicing that yogic lifestyle, sometimes they are considered yung iba dun sa kanila na mga bhajan na nandi. They're just focusing on their own bhajan. their own sadhana. But in our line ng ating disciplic succession, specifically kay Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we are considered as Ghosty and Nandi. We are not practicing Krishna consciousness or spirituality alone. We are doing everyday our sadhana, such as this. At the same time, we want to share that consciousness to others. So that's the big difference. So, hindi mo na kailangan daw tumira sa Himalayan caves. Diba? Nasa cave naman tayo lahat ngayon kasi laging lockdown. Pero you can go out, you can reach out, in the internet world to spread this consciousness kasi people need this. Especially this time. Just like the Himalayan mountain, and comparing to King Pariksit, he is the shelter ng mga tao, ng mga living entities. And a devotee, and also this book, written by Srila Prabhupada in his The Purports, is the shelter just like the Himalayan mountain sa ating mga living entities. Another comparison, that is, King Pariksit will be like forbearing like the earth. Sobrang forbearing ng earth, diba? Lahat nga tayo nandito sa kanya. And even not a lot is being responsible enough to take care of earth. Andun pa rin siya, hindi ka naman yung ini-eject eh. O si Rolly, parang hindi siya organic kumilos dito. Eject ko. Dito ka lang. Yeah. Even those who are very how do they call this? Very destructive in their behavior. Just for power. Ang dami na lang mga trip sa buhay. Papasabog sila mga atomic bomb. Diba? Just to scare the other. What is the purpose? Just to scare the other countries na mas malakas sila, may atomic bomb sila. They could conquer or they are unconquerable. Diba? Ang dami yung ginagawa sa earth. But Mother Bhumi, the goddess Bhumi, is the personification of earth. She's just forbearing. Carry niya lang lahat. The only thing is, sabi niya, I can carry the burden of the people in this planet. Ang di niya lang kaya is those who are untruthful. Those who are liars. So, kung pwede lang sanang gano'n, auto-eject. Parang pag yung jet magka-crash na, pwede ka mag-eject. Pwede mo eject yung mga tao dito. And yes, tolerant as his parents. Yung parents ni Maharaj Pariksit is si Abhimanyu saka si Uttara. Of course, yung sila Pandavas are considered parents din, grandparents niya. Pero as you can see, sobrang tolerant palagi ng mga parents. You can see yung mga anak nila. Sobrang kukulit. Pero minsan may meeting, may kausap, tas may ingay yung anak, kisingit, or manggugulo palagi. And actually, the greatest lesson na matututunan na ng isang tao pag naging parents sila is intolerance. You have to consider the bata ngayon. Ang dami mong gagawin sa mga bagay-bagay, pero you have to prioritize. Even yung sleep, diba? Pag dumaan ka sa stage na may baby, pati yung sleep deprived ka dahil nga you have to wake up in the middle of the night to attend to the child's or yung baby's needs. So, iba ang tolerance ng parents. And of course, sabi ni Prabhupada, an ideal king may be possessed of all these good qualities, and the child Pariksit is foretold to have all these qualities in perfection. Yung mga qualities na mga to, si King Pariksit is on that high level. Actually, si King Pariksit was very tolerant. The one thing he did not tolerate when he saw Dharma in the form of a bull was being tortured and killed by Kali. Yung pinuputol yung paa. So those are the pillars of religion. The austerity, the mercifulness, the cleanliness, truthfulness. Yung apat na yun is the pillars of religion. And those 3 legs are already cut down by Kali. Ang natitira na lang na leg is truthfulness. Which is ayun yung natitira sana ngayong Kali Yuga. When King Pariksit saw this, he immediately drew his sword and wanted to kill this black, um, like demoniac figure dressed as a king. May mga golds and ornaments. Pero that is Kali. Kali personified. So, hindi niya tinolerate yon. Hindi niya tinolerate yon. But others, he tolerated. Even yung curse sa kanya, mamatay ng 7 days, he tolerated. But yung pag-destroy ng principles of religion and spirituality and yung abuse sa animals, much more yung cow production. Yung mag-a-abuse doon, he did not tolerate. Text number 23. Napakaganda na ito. Sabi ng mga Brahmanas, this child will be like his grandfather Yudhishthir or Brahma in equanimity of mind. He will be munificent like the lord of the Kailash hill Shiva, and he will be the resort of everyone. Like the supreme personality of Godhead Narayan, who is even the shelter of the goddess of fortune. So there are few comparison. Again, si Brahma and Yudhishthir, Lord Shiva sa si Narayan. The grandfather, kasi nga tatay niya si Abhimanyu. Sorry, tama ba? I forgot. Alam ko yung tatay niya si either Abhimanyu or anyway, tatay niya. Then yung lolo niya si Yudhishthir. At the same time, yung lolo na and lolo natin lahat is considered na si Lord Brahma. So, sinabi rito, the child will be like his grandfather Yudhishthir and Brahma. So, pareho nila na kino-compare. Bakit? In equanimity of the mind. Equanimity is just like our title. Whatever happens sa sarili natin, we are still sober. We are still trying to have our composure. And whatever happens, we are calm. Very like equanimity. It is comparable to the analogy of the ocean. Yung ocean, ang daming mga factors na pwedeng mag-agitate sa kanya. There are a lot of desires na pwedeng pumunta just like the rivers. Imagine mo kung ilang tons of water are being poured down or contributed nung river sa mga water na yun papunta sa ocean. And a lot of factors in the weather, the wind, the waves. Diba? Pero yung ocean lang siya. In the top, there might be like parang tsunami or may mga big waves. Pero it is still calm. Top lang yung nakikita na yun. That's the ocean. Very calm lang siya. Tapos, very at peace yung mga living entities doon. Same thing. People with mental equanimity, kahit anong dumating sa kanila, yung mga provoking situation, they are composed. And this is actually what is lacking nowadays. Very little na mga triggers, little na mga provoking situation, mag-snap na yung mga tao. Diba? Para silang palaging baso na vulnerable na mabilis mabasag. Onting galaw mo lang, mabasag na. And you can see that everywhere. There will be fights. Just like mga road rage, just like because of traffic. Na hindi naman nagbanggaan. Malapit lang. There will be fights in misunderstanding sa mga tao. Then they will go everywhere para lang panindigan yung mga pinagalaban nila. You can see, parang parang daming show, parang kay Tulfo. Lahat away. Pag punta ka doon, mag-nonood ka lang ng away. Ang daming yung mga tao, very uncontrolled anger, uncontrolled emotions, uncontrolled urge to speak. Ang dami lang sinasabi, ang dami lang comment. And yung mga curiosity ng tao is dwelling on this kind of news and dwelling in this kind of issues, di ba? So, hindi yung gossip, hindi lang nasa babae yun. Akala nila sila marites. Pero no, kahit yung mga lalaki is dwelling on this. Dwelling on this. They love to see people break down their composure or even fight. Gustong gusto nila yan. Even in drama, di ba? Umaga pa lang may teleserye na may Spanish, ngayon uso yung K-drama, lahat, everywhere. Just for what? They don't have mental equanimity. Lahat ng mga nangyayari, papatulan. Lahat ng mga provoking situation na po-provoke sila. But Yudhishthir Maharaj and even Lord Brahma, they have this mental equanimity that we're trying to also develop in that quality natin, in our qualities. Na hindi lahat kailangan mong hindi mo lang lahat kailangan mong pagtuunan ng pansin or buhusan mo ng effort. Iba, and marami kadalasan sa paligid natin, we just have to tolerate. And even andyan na yung mga provoking situation, you're still composed just like the ocean. There's also a perfect analogy in the Bhagavad Gita, just like a fire in the lamp. Yung lampara. Diba? Pag nilagay mo nga siya ng cover, diba? Like, alam mo yung si Nightingale, dala-dalang lamp. Pag nilagay mo siya ng cover, it will protect the fire from the wind. Hindi siya agitated. Pero pag tinanggal mo yun, mas agitated yung fire, diba? Galaw ng galaw. So, ganun din yung mental equanimity. Even maraming wind sa paligid. You're just like unmoving na fire. You're not agitated. Your mind is in equanimity. And sobrang importante nito. Paano mo magagawa to? One should be really stable. One should be really grounded and deeply rooted. Even Arjuna, in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, experienced this. He experienced this anxiety nung nakita na niya yung mga kalaban niya sa kabila ng battlefield. He asked for Krishna's guidance. Please instruct me, I must all surrender to you. He lost his composure because of mastery weakness. He's seeking guidance kay Krishna. So the best way for us to have this mental equanimity is, of course, we should do our sadhana. The rest of the day will be spent para sa maintenance ng body natin, doing all our passion, di ba, work, and ang daming activities. You just need to spend an hour or two for our sadhana. And that's a good investment para ma-maintain mo yung mental equanimity mo. Pansinin mo pag di ka nag-chant, kaya late ka lang mag-chant. Ang init na ulo mo lang. Yung mga decision making mo medyo pumapalya. So yes, we need to do that regularly, sadhana. Maya could easily grasp yung mga weakness natin, yung mga situation na grasp niya because of our weaknesses. And for us to be protected by that, we should be in a proper sadhana, regular sadhana. Your chanting, your attendance and reading, and your association, which is very important. We should have a proper association. And also like a teacher. Like si Arjuna had his teacher, si Krishna mismo. Even sila Yudhishthira, si Lord Brahma, ganun din. May mga teacher din sila to guide them. May certain master din sila to guide them. And sobrang importante na ito because how to have this mental equanimity, one should be engaged. Aside from the sadhana, one should be engaged in devotional service. In that way, one will be feeling the atmarama, the self-satisfaction. Yung mga tao, very agitated sila sa mga bagay-bagay kasi they're not satisfied with life. Ano mo yun, parang hindi mauubos yung mga interviews ng mga successful na tao na they're still looking for happiness. Unless they're full. Sabi nga, there are two permanently happy people. Those who are self-realized and those who are completely full. The rest, in the middle, will suffer. So, Those who are, of course, trying to become self-realized, they're not full already. They overcome that foolishness. But of course, they're still looking for happiness. I've seen a lot of interviews. Lagi ko pinapad mga ganun. Successful na artist, musician, halos lahat. Diba? They were parang temporary, the material things could bring them temporary happiness, which is not true happiness kasi temporary siya. Pero they're still looking for more. So if one is satisfied in their sadhana at the same time their devotional service, one is connected to the Guru and to Krishna, one will be in this situation, mental equanimity. You could see that in this in our devotees. May mga qualities that they're in this situation. And yung mga nangyayari sa paligid, they're very sober. Katulad nga sabi sa Bhagavad Gita, tam titikshava bharata, titikshava. A sober person could tolerate all this matraspashas tu kunteya, sitoshna sukadukada. Could tolerate all this duality sa buhay, happiness and distress. He can tolerate it. Tam titikshava. Another comparison here is Lord Shiva, munificent like the Lord of Kailash Hill. Alam ko yung Kailash Hill, part pa rin siya ng Himalayas. Doon si Lord Shiva. And si Lord Shiva is actually a greatest, lahat naman kasi greatest eh. It's a superlative ng spiritual world. Walang comparison. He's a great devotee of Krishna. There is even a pastime where si Lord Shiva wanted to visit Lord Krishna sa Vrindavan. Ay, alam mo naman yung suot ni Lord Shiva, di ba? May mga skulls. Tapos may covered siya ng ashes. Yung ashes na yun, di normal na ashes. Those are the ashes coming from the dead people. Diba? Tapos, matted hair, naka-dreadlock siya. Tapos gusto niya dalawa si Krishna to have darshan because he's a great devotee of Krishna. Yung nakita siya ni Mother Yashoda. Diba? Ba't pupunta mo yan ako? Look at you. Inaway siya ng nanay. Gano'n ka protective si Mother Yashoda. Diba? Even a great personality like Lord Shiva, no, hindi ka pwede. Baka matakot yung anak ko sa'yo, baka umiyak. But of course, he is a great devotee of Lord Krishna. Actually, he is very merciful actually sa mga living entities. Sabi nga, yung mga hindi ina-accept ni Krishna, just like flowers without scent and all, accept niya. Even those demon who wants to worship, he will accept. Si Ravana, pinag-usapan na natin siya most of the time before. Ravana is a demon sa pastime ni Lord Ramachandra. Si Ravana, when he was conquering yung three worlds, kinonquer niya yung lower planetary system, higher planetary system. He was even offensive sa mga wives and demigods. And feeling niya invincible siya, he have this Vimana, Pushpaka Vimana, made of flowers and like a city. Diba? Hindi lang basta UFO. May city lumilipad. may mga establishment, maraming tao, may community. Of course, siyempre, mga demonyak sa mga servants. And dumaan siya doon sa Kailash Hill, kung saan si Lord Shiva. Ayaw niya mag-fly over kasi mataas nga. Parang siya kailangan niya iusog to. Out of pride. So, because of pride, pumunta siya dun sa bottom ng Kailash Hill. And he wanted to lift this. Nung nalilift na niya to, si Kailash, sa Kailash, si Lord Shiva, saka si Parvati, his consort, was there. Si Shiva, palagi lang siya nag-meditate kay Krishna. Ang problema, habang binubuhat ni Ravana yung mountain na Kailash Hill, si Parvati yung partner, yung consort niya, na out of balance, na tumba. So, na-bad trip si Lord Shiva ngayon. Sige. He will not tolerate. Kasi yung sa kanya okay lang. Pero, ayun nga, he is offending si Mother Parvati. So, ginawa ni Lord Shiva, yung toes niya, yung big toe niya sa isang paa niya, he pressed yung Mount Kailash. Tapos hisiraban na nasa bottom na binubuhat yung um, Kailash Hill. Natrap siya sa gitna. Natrap siya ng mountain na binubuhat niya. Tapos di siya makalis doon. Alam mo kung gaano katagal siya natrap? For thousands of years. Hindi siya makaalis. And nandun yung mga servant niya, try siya tulungan. Pero hindi na mabuhat. Si Lord Shiva yun. What they did is, sabi nila kay Ravana, Ravana, alam ko, si Lord Shiva, mabilis siya pa-please eh. Kahit yung mga demon, pwede siya i-worship. Baka pwede kang gumawa ng mga prayers sa mga mantras para ma-please mo siya. And true enough, ginawa ni Ravana yon. He prayed hard, reciting a lot of beautiful mantras. These demons are very smart actually. So he recited very wonderful, in a humble mood, yung mga mantras. And si Lord Shiva was easily pleased. Binigyan pa nga niya ng boon ng mga power si Ravana. So kung nakita mo si Ravana, meron siyang 3 stripe pa ganun. So ayun pa rin yung he's accepting yung mga nagka-take shelter sa kanya. Even the demons, rakshasas, diba? So may parin nga sila every sunset, Shiva Muhurta. So yun. Pinag-discuss ni Radhanath Prabhu yan previously. So yan, dun yung mga time na naggagala yung mga alagad ni Lord Shiva. So sabi nga dun sa last na usapan natin months ago, one should not conceive a child during the Shiva Muhurta. Kasi baka yung mga ghostly entities yung maging anak niya. Anyway, that's Lord Shiva. And ang dami niyang binigay ng boon ng mga demon. There's a demon also na si Brikasura. Asura. Demoniac. Asura meaning. So, si Brikasura. He tried to worship Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva, of course, easy please. Tapos sabi niya, okay, sige, anong boon ang gusto mo? Sabi ni Brikasura, very material, di ba? Ang desire pala niya sa pag-worship kay Shiva, gusto niya magka-powers. Na kung sino yung itatouch niya ng index finger niya, pag hinawakan niya yung ulo, malalaglag na lang. Ayun yung powers niya. So, okay, binigay ni Lord Shiva. Ang problema, si Brikasura, isa na sura. Sabi niya, totoo kaya yung binigay sa kanya. Try ko nga. Gusto niya hawakan yung ulo ni Shiva. Ang problema, si Shiva, syempre, diba, binigay niya yung bunay, alam niya effective yun. So, he ran. Diba? Teka, ba't mo sa akin gagawin yan? Hindi, na-try lang natin. So, tumatakbo si Lord Shiva. And hinabot siya ni Brikasura. Ang ginawa ni Lord Shiva, he took shelter kay Lord Vishnu. Sumbong sila. Lagi sila nagsusumbong, yung mga demigods lagi nagsusumbong kay Lord Vishnu. After nila magsumbong kay Lord Brahma, kay Lord Vishnu sila nagsusumbong. Tapos, very witty and very, parang humorous. Sabi ni Lord Vishnu, ba't mo naman kasi binigay yan? Sige, ako yung kakausap. Nung kinausap ni Lord Vishnu si Brikasura. Alam mo, Brikasura, sometimes Lord Shiva is giving boon na hindi naman effective. Na-try mo na ba? Sabi ni Brikasura, hindi pa. Sige, try mo sarili mo, hawakan mo. Tapos, this foolish asura tried it to himself. Paghawak niya sa ulo niya, nalaglag. So sometimes, ayun nga, yung demigod worshipping, we could get yung mga hinihiling natin. Pero sometimes, this is the cause of our fall down. Hingin ka ng money, sige, worship ko ng demigods. Material things. They might give it to you. Kaya madaming demigod worshippers. Karmakanda and demigod worshippers. They wanted to be elevated in material position. But of course, it might be the cause of your fall down. Hindi lahat. Very little percentage. So, Lord Shiva is very pleased. But also, meron siyang mga qualities. Yung magnanimity niya is sobrang and also yung pagiging munificent niya is sobrang flourishing his qualities. Na-mention ko si Lord Brahma, na-mention ko rin si Lord Brahma. Si Lord Brahma is very tolerant, again, and also, yung equanimity niya is sobra-sobra. He is even the great grand engineer ng ating material world. Siya yung first living entity nga. Siya yung first Prajapati or progenitor. Sa kanya galing yung mga lolo nga natin talaga siya. And there was even a pastime na nag-design siya. Di ba siya nag-design na ito? Of course, empowered ni Krishna. Then, ginawa niya yung eyelids. Ang problema sa eyelids, after few moments, few seconds, kailangan niya pumikit. And even in that exalted position na may napakataas ni Lord Brahma, he was criticized and chastised. Not by normal people, but by the gopis of Krishna. In their love and attention and absorption kay Krishna, they wanted to see Krishna more than 24 hours. Sobrang absorbed sila. And they criticized Lord Brahma bakit ginawa yung pagpikit ng eyelids. Because that one moment is so long for them. Yung one moment na yun, 1/7 of a second. Hindi pa sa 1 second. Hindi pa sa half a second. Pero they criticized Lord Brahma. So still, of course, si Lord Brahma maintain his mental equanimity. At the same time, this just shows how greatness meron yung mga qualities ng leaders natin. Lalo na sa mga spiritual leaders. It's a thankless task. Diba? And what you will get in return? Criticism. Just like si Lord Brahma nga na-criticize eh. What more pa yung mga small leaders. So, yeah, they still maintain and yung equanimity nila. That is a lot of provoking situation. Like, the pride could be there. Teka lang, ako nga nag-decide sa kanya kagaling. Pwedeng isipin niya sa mga tao. Pero no, sobrang na-maintain niya yun. Si Lord Ram was being compared also to Maharaj Pariksit. Sobrang importante na ito. Also, ayun yung sa part na incarnation ni Krishna where he killed Ravana. He maintained this, how do you call this? He maintained this supremacy, reign, saka supremacy ni Krishna in the form of a human being as a king. And also, as you can see in this last paragraph sa ating purport, Rama means the goddess of fortune. And her shelter is Lord Vishnu. So this, take note, yung Rama, yung letter A na sa huli, yung bar sa huli. She is the goddess of fortune also. Kasi si Lakshmi is resting palagi kay Lord Vishnu, kay Narayan. And actually si Lakshmi is also an expansion ni Srimati Radharani. But only Vishnu and devotees of Vishnu can give protection to all, even to goddess of fortune, to Lakshmi. So, it was being discussed and compared na si Maharaj Pariksit is the resort of everyone. Even si Lakshmi na yun, in that kind of high personality. What more pa tayo? The ultimate shelter natin. Shelter from all the storm. Text number 24, another comparison. This is to the extreme. This child will be almost as good as Lord Krishna, Lord Shri Krishna, by following his footsteps. In magnanimity, he will become as great as King Rantidev, and in religion, he will be like Maharaj Yayati. So, si Krishna, si Maharaj Pariksit is being compared almost as good as Lord Shri Krishna. In what way? Following his footsteps. So when one is having the association of Krishna, one could be on the level of Brahman. Level of Brahman means to have that extreme na marireach ng isang tao. 100% is Krishna. And yung pwede lang ma-reach ng isang tao is 78%. ng qualities na yon kay Krishna. So, never magiging God yung mga souls. That is their extreme. Ayun yung todo-todo. And hindi basta-basta mapupuntahan natin to. Diba? A lot of qualities and a lot of endeavors to do para mapunta ka dun sa maximum na pwede mo ma-develop na qualities mo. Godly qualities. Pero how to elevate ourselves in that position? Number one is association kay Krishna. Hirap naman yan, Radhacharan. Dito nga, hindi ko nga maisip si Krishna eh. Association. Of course, si Krishna incarnated himself. He actually invested himself sa holy names. So, in that way, you have association with Krishna. He incarnated himself sa Srimad Bhagavatam, saka sa Bhagavad Gita. In that way, you are associating with Krishna. And even yung devotional service is Krishna himself. So there's no difference. The Lord is present everywhere and at all times. It is quite possible to have His association simply by following His instructions. Because of the Lord and His instruction, and the Lord and His name, fame, attributes, panaphernalia even, are all identical with Him. Even panaphernalia. You see the deity worship na mga activity, na mga panaphernalia, it's all Krishna. Balaram specifically. Non-different kay Krishna. So, si King Pariksit is following the footsteps as good as Lord Krishna kasi he's following the footsteps and teachings ni Lord Krishna. So, that's the qualities ni King Pariksit. He was also compared kay Rantidev. Si Rantidev is a Kshatriya. Very simple lang yung description dito. King siya dun sa line nila Maharaj Pariksit. Parang ancestor sila ni Pariksit Maharaj. Pero he is a Kshatriya. At the same time, he believed in protection of the animals, which is almost all of them did. So, he never ate flesh in his life. So, ito yung in-emphasize sa life niya. Another one is si King Yayati. King Yayati is, you could study his life sa 9th canto ng Srimad Bhagavatam. Sobrang ganda ng story ni King Yayati. Ang ganda nung life niya, pero na-highlight doon sa story yung isang fault niya. Because leaders are always not perfect. Na-highlight yung fault niya for us to learn. Not to chastise or disrespect him. So, meron siyang asawa ni si Devayani. The problem is si Devayani, meron siyang friend pero naging kaaway niya. Nagsimula yung story nila si Devayani saka si Sarmishta, naligo sila sa river. Sa river o basta may reservoir of water. Tapos, nung aalis na sila, nagkapalit sila ng damit. Only thing is, ganun kababaw yung reason paano nasira yung pagkakaibigan nila. Nagkapalit sila ng damit. Imagine mo, sobrang great personality sila. Si Devayani is also coming from royal family. Si Samarishti is coming from the line ng mga Brahmanas. Pero because nagkapalit sila ng damit, di ko lang po anong brand yun. Pero nagkapalit sila ng damit after maligo. Nag-away sila. Nasira yung pagkakaibigan nila. And, kung napapansin nyo, madalas nangyayari yan in our common relationship here. Business partners, relatives, friendship, even yung mga life partners. Just small things. Diba? Madalas misunderstanding lang. So, nangyari yon si Devayani sa si Sarmishta. Ang problema, si King Yayati, naging asawa niya yung dalawa. Yung magkaaway ng dating magkaibigan. Pero, si Sarmishta, yung dad niya na is Brahmana, he mentioned na you don't have and you don't need and you must not, sabi niya kay Yayati, you must not make intercourse or pumasok sa quarters even ng anak niya, si Sarmishta. Very against yung tatay. Pero nabalitaan ni Sukracharya yon yung tatay niya, yung Brahmana, tatay ni Samarshita na, ayun nga, si Yayati was very lustful kay Samarshita. So he cursed na you will be impotent, you will lose your youth because you're too lustful. Of course, lagi naman sa scriptures, after ma-curse ng mga personalities, mag-ibag sila. Please forgive them. Ano ba yung pwedeng nilang magawa para mawala ng curse na yun? And yung um, sabi ni Sukracharya, if one would exchange yung old age mo sa youth nila, then you could be young again. So, pwedeng ipalit. So, what happened was, si King Yayati, tumanda siya bigla. Pero he's the emperor, kailangan niya i-rule yung earth. At the same time, very lusty pa siya. Andun pa yung urge and senses niya. Then he talked among his sons. Ano sila, Yadu, sila Puru, and all. Para makipagpalit ng youthfulness sa kanya. Then, halos lahat di pumayag except si yung bunso nila. Tapos yung bunso nila pumayag makipagpalit. Tumanda yung bunso niyang anak and siya yung bumata ulit. And this was just part ng kanilang pastime ni King Yayati. Pero, he is being compared sa practice na greatness niya sa religion kasi he followed yung religious principles. Mayroon lang siya pagkakamali na una. Mas younger siya, pero he did a lot of things. So, hindi lahat ng mga naging leaders is nag-umpisa sila na perfect na. May mga along the way, may mga learning curves sila. So, yung mga anak nga daw ni Yayati, it was mentioned by Srila Prabhupada, sila Yadu, Turvashu, si Druyu, Anu, saka si Puru. Si Puru yung tumanggap nung old age ni Yayati, nakipag-exchange. Pero binalik din naman yun afterwards. Si Yadu, ito yung lineage ni nila Krishna, kaya Yadu dynasty. Actually, yung mga how do you call this? Yung mga dynasty, famous 5 dynasties, galing dito sa line ni Yayati. First, yung Yadu dynasty, of course, andyan yung mga galing kay Krishna. The Yavans, Turk, baka ito yung sa Turkey, baka yun, mga Middle Eastern. Boja dynasty, I'm not quite sure. Number 4 is Maurya dynasty. Dito galing yung dynasty ng mga Greek. So, yung history ng Greece dito, galing sa kanila. And some even mention sila yung mga soldiers who fled when Krishna came down as Parasuram to kill this unscrupulous na mga soldiers who are not religious and doing their dharma. Si Krishna bumaba as Parasuram to kill all of them. And yung mga tumakas na yon, sila yung napunta sa Greece. So, ito rin yung mga line na to. Sila yung mga Maurya dynasty and the Puru dynasty, Paurava dynasty. So, you can see in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it was being discussed kung pati yung mga history, yung mga ibang dynasties, kung saan nagkalat-kalat. In other kings, you will notice, I think that's the son or apo ni King Pariksit. Yung dinivide na nila yung mga continents. Paano nagkaroon ng continents. So this is King Yayati. We will discuss about him sa 9th canto ng Srimad Bhagavatam. And Pariksit Maharaj was being compared kay Brahma and Yudhisthira, kay Shiva Sakai, Narayan, kay Krishna, kay Rantidev, saka kay Yayati. Last verse for today, text number 25. This child will be like Bali Maharaj, in patience, a staunch devotee of Lord Krishna, like Prahlad Maharaj, a performer of many Asvamedha horse sacrifices, and a follower of the old and experienced man. So these two Maharaj, maglolo sila, pero nandun sila sa demoniac line. Only thing is, kahit sa demoniac line sila, They are a great devotee of Krishna. They are great devotees of Krishna. Even sa demoniac line. Even those who are in the line of Krishna or the line of Pandavas, may mga demoniac din naman naman lumalabas. So it doesn't mean automatic kapag family of devotees ka is devotee ka na kagad. No. It doesn't mean na family of demons ka is hindi ka na magiging devotee ni Krishna. Same thing. Our qualities hindi basta-basta nakukuha lang. I mean, our nature hindi basta-basta galing lang dun sa pinanggalingan nating family. Yung iba kasi in the caste system, they will see, pinanganak ako sa Brahmin family, so Brahmin na ako. Pero yung activities niya is not Brahminical, it's not saintly. Diba? So developing that saintly qualities is not based on kung saan pinanganak. Just like a doctor. Kung doctor yung lineage ng mga ancestor mo, pati yung parents mo, hindi ka automatic doctor. You have to study. You have to develop that skill set, knowledge, and qualities of a doctor. So, same thing. So, si Bali Maharaj, kasama siya dun sa, pareha sila si Prahlad Maharaj, sa 12 Mahajans. Sila yung mga great personalities, devotees ni Lord Krishna. Mahajans. And we should follow their footsteps. Not imitate them, of course. So, si Bali Maharaj, actually, he is a great king. He conquered even the demigods. Great demon siya. Kinonquer niya yung demigods. Walang magawa. Sila Lord Indra, tagtago sila. Ganun level. Talagang wala sila magawang paraan para mabawi yung throne. But si Krishna, again, came down. Di ba? Ang purpose niya palagi is to annihilate the demons, to have the association ng mga devotees niya, saka re-establish the religion. Ito yung tatlong to. So, bumaba siya ulit to re-establish the religion, to have associations sa devotees niya, and to chastise si Bali Maharaj. Si Vamana Dev, incarnation ni Krishna, descended, and in the garb of a dwarf, Brahmana. Dwarf siya, and a Brahmana, like a little boy. He went to Bali Maharaj, and in the custom, even kings, even demons, when Brahmanas, monks, went to their place, they would serve them and offer whatever they could offer, or kung ano yung hilingin ng mga monk in charity. So this Lord Vamana, as the dwarf Brahmana, he begged na 3 steps kay Bali Maharaj. 3 steps of land lang. Sabi ni Bali Maharaj, anong klaseng hiling yan? Diba? He conquered now the 3 worlds, lower planetary system, middle planetary system, kung nasan yung Earth, and even higher planetary system. Tapos hihingi mo sa akin 3 lands lang. Si Bali Maharaj was very successful in his conquer sa mga places na to kasi he follows even the demons. Meron silang spiritual teacher. May spiritual master sila. The problem is, yung spiritual master niya is medyo demoniac din. Pero matalino. Sabi niya kay Bali Maharaj, naku, di ko ba alam, yung dwarf boy na yan could be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even 3 steps na yan na hinihiling niya, pag binigay mo yan, could get all na pinaghirapan mo. That guru is very smart kasi tama talaga siya. Pero yung intention is different. Si Bali Maharaj, he did not follow the instructions of the spiritual master. That's the only time a devotee should not follow if the spiritual master is, of course, giving an instruction na hindi palapit kay Krishna kasi mostly, and dapat ang mga instructions ng spiritual master ng mga guru is for the disciple to be closer sa parampara and papunta kay Krishna. And that's very clear. Yung instruction ni guru niya is against. Ay kung siya pa rin Supreme Personality of Godhead, bakit hindi ako mag-offer? Demon na yung nagkasalita nito si Bali Maharaj. So ano ba yung mawawala with the 3 steps of land and these material things? Then he got the water and wash his hands, tapos binigay niya yung wish ni Vamana. Ang problema si Vamanadev, meron siyang anklet sa paa and nag-Rubik siya na yung anklet na yun mas malaki pa sa sun. So lumaki siya ng lumaki ng todo. In the first steps, na conquered na niya yung material world. Second step, na conquer niya yung spiritual world. Sabi niya, Bali Maharaj, you promised na bibigyan mo ako ng 3 steps. Ngayon, first step ko, na conquer ko na yung material world. Second step ko yung spiritual world. Saan ko lalagay yung third step? Because a true virtuous man should follow always his words. Si Bali Maharaj offer his obeisances, then offer his head. Sabi niya kay Vamadev, you can put the 3 steps to my head. The third step to my head. He surrendered. So, si Bali Maharaj is actually, may quality siya na sobrang patient niya. And it was being compared kay Pariksit Maharaj, na parang si Bali Maharaj siya. And also, Prahlad Maharaj, the last na comparison here, Prahlad Maharaj is, kung nakita niyo si Lord Nishingadev, the lion, incarnation ni Krishna, half lion, diba? May batang maliit doon, that's Prahlad Maharaj. Si Prahlad Maharaj is a son of a demon again, Hiranyakashipu. Ang problema, si Hiranyakashipu gusto niya yung anak niya maging demon din. So, pinasok niya sa mga school of demons. The University of Demons. Then, supposedly, itatrain sila sa mga sa mga matters na mga meron dito sa mundane matters and pagiging demon. Ang problema, si Prahlad Maharaj is a devotee of Krishna. So, si Hiranyakashipu, kaaway niya yun. Demon siya. Hindi siya katulad ni Bali Maharaj na saintly na demon. Demon talaga siya. Ang problema, yung anak niya, gusto maging devotee ni Krishna. So, even anak niya yon, he wanted Prahlad Maharaj to be killed. And Prahlad Maharaj, he was stomped by elephants, put in the snake pit. He was burnt and all. Lahat. Ginagawa lang ni Prahlad Maharaj is chanting, meditating on Krishna. And he wasn't killed. Until kailangan niya tawagan si Krishna to go down. And Lord Nishingadev, the half lion na incarnation ni Krishna, went out of a pillar to kill Hiranyakashipu. He is a staunch devotee of Krishna because even in that situation, and even actually, nung patay na yung tatay niya, si Hiranyakashipu, and kasama niya si Lord Nishingadev, sinasabi, what's the boon that you want to have? Si Krishna na nagkasabi nun as Lord Nishingadev. Alam mo yung sabi ni Prahlad Maharaj, please save my father. Liberate him. Yung tatay niya gusto pumatay sa kanya na demon. Pinagdasal pa niya. And of course, sabi ni Lord Nishingadev, if one become a pure devotee of Krishna, automatic lahat ng relatives niya, 100 generations, up and down, present, past, and future, will be liberated. So these mga personalities are being compared kay Maharaj Pariksit ng mga Brahmanas. Baby pa lang yun, ha? So, binibigyan na ng mga blessings at the same time binibigyan ng how do they call this? Ng astrological na mga comparison ng greatness ni Maharaj Pariksit. In the future, he will be a great, staunch devotee of Krishna and also an emperor. So, abangan natin yung mangyayari bukas because napakaganda ng mga stories and how the qualities of Maharaj Pariksit will flourish then. Thank you very much. If you are in the 4th batch, kita-kita tayo sa ating chapter 17 and 18 sa ating Bhagavad Gita. Last day ng Bhagavad Gita ngayon. And few days na lang to end that batch, meditation and yoga philosophy for the 4th batch. And thank you very much. Karantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Maharaj Pariksit ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Premanande. Riaribol. Thank you very much. Ron, Prabhu Carla, Moksha, Lakshmi Mataji, Nikita, Kanai Krishna Riza, Rizal, Hare Krishna. Kamusta sila Zay? Rolly Prabhu Power.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Good morning. Thank you rin sa ating mga nanonood sa Facebook Live. Haribol.
Ito.